So no animals today. Today we are building a modern warehouse because we need some place to store all of the food for the animals, and I just got distracted and wanted to build a warehouse. Let the crazy begin. Alright, so this is the build that I put off for a bit because I got early access to the Grasslands pack. But as I've said already, today we're building a warehouse, but it's not only a warehouse, we're also building a sort of staff area or staff building off to the right side. Basically, this is supposed to be kind of an office to see what goes into the warehouse, what goes out, what's in the warehouse, like basically where everything gets checked. And there's probably also like some hangout area for the truckers or anybody involved with the warehouse. And then on the left side of the warehouse, I decided to add what I call a cooler room. Basically, anything that gets delivered that needs to be cooled, refrigerated, or frozen goes there. So I also made it so that it has its own like loading/dock area, because I would imagine that anything that needs to be frozen or such gets delivered in special trucks, because those trucks need to be cooled as well, or at least have the capabilities to cool what they're carrying. And then the main area or the main warehouse has its own like area for trucks as well. So basically this is a huge build that I put off because I got early access to the Grasslands pack. And then, yeah, now we are here. Now I can finally remove that messy blotch that I made on the end of screen map, showing the whole result of what we've built, showing basically the development of Naturalis. Now I can take that blob away. But yeah, this build was made over the course of like a month. Like anytime I had some time and inspiration in that month, I just built on this. Well, that's not completely true, because at first I made a koala house. I've already mentioned and talked about this in the previous video, but basically I made an entire koala house and then decided this building doesn't work. The shapes and such are just not meshing well. And I axed it completely. And then I started building this warehouse. So this is again to notify you guys. Please don't compare yourself to any creators, because you don't see our mistakes, because we will not show them in videos or anything. Like, I have deleted all of the footage of that koala house because it was a mistake. It didn't end up looking how I wanted it, so it's never going to see the light of day. Even though if I showed it, probably a lot of you guys would say, oh yeah, but it doesn't look that bad. This looks good and such. And it's just like, no, it looks like shit, at least according to me. But anyways, back to the actual building, because I decided to make an interior for this thing, which I'm immediately going to say I'm not great at interiors. I have no mind for making tiny stuff, like making the tiny realistic stuff. So anything when it comes to interiors, or well, most things are built by either Shift C or PS Vision Gaming. I will put links to their workshops down below, or their channels or such. Basically any place that you can find them, I will try and put links down below. But yeah, I just don't have a mind for those things. The same goes for cars. Like any car you see in Naturalis, I have not made, because I just don't have a mind for that. Like, I look at pieces and see how I can use them in big buildings or maybe gardens and such. But when it comes to like, oh yeah, I need to make an office chair, I have no idea how to use those pieces, and it just never clicks in my brain on how to use pieces for those kinds of things. So yeah, I am shit at making basically small things. I'm really good at making huge things that will destroy your PC. But when it comes to small things, it doesn't work in my brain. So then I just look at people where it actually does work in their brain, and they do figure out how those pieces could make an office chair or a bin or anything else, basically. Especially Shift C lately, it's just like, How the fuck did you make all of those stuff for like shops and offices and backstage areas? Man is a wizard when it comes to those things. But anyways, then I decided to spruce up the warehouse a bit because it needs to be a modern, fancy warehouse. Even though this is a backstage area, so I will have people probably thinking like, this is a backstage area, Poison. Why are you making it fancy? Because bitch, I'm fancy. No, actually, the complete opposite. Like, I am a dumpster fire. You can bribe me with chicken nuggets and chocolate. I would say bacon as well, but lately not so much. Maybe that's because of the holidays. And there's just a lot of chocolate going around. So it's just like, yeah, chocolate. I haven't eaten chicken nuggets in quite a long time though. So maybe the bribing thing either works less or works better. But yeah, basically, I'm a dumpster fire. I can't say that I'm fancy because the amount of times that I've dropped like a piece of candy on the floor and just eaten it, it's just, yeah. But hey, some say that you avoid allergies by eating shit. Well, not eating shit, but by like exposing yourself at an early age to like, you know, things that could cause allergies. So I have no allergies. So basically when I was young, I ate a lot of dirt. And well, I don't know if I'm allergic to this one plant that kind of sticks to your clothes. Like, it's, how would you call it? Like, I think I was 10, 11 or so, but like these plants would grow around the school and it was fun to just like pick it up and toss it at people because again, it would stick to your clothes. And I got it like tossed at my arms and it would just like, my arms were itchy the entire time or entire day after. And then I avoided those plants like the plague because I know to avoid things that hurt. Even though I really like roller coasters and that's really just driving on adrenaline. Like roller coasters are meant to like get your heart pumping, get that adrenaline flow, like basically make your body believe like you're in danger. Yeah, it's kind of weird that like we as humans have gone so far that we want to put ourselves in danger or make our bodies feel like we're in danger just to get that adrenaline rush. I mean, why else would you jump out of a plane? For the adrenaline rush. Probably also a nice feel, but then it's also just like, yeah, if things go wrong, you go. Also, yeah, I recently went to the Efteling, which is a theme park in the Netherlands. I went to the winter Efteling with a couple of other people. And did I freeze? Yes. But it was pretty because it snowed the day before. And so the whole theme park was kind of snowy, but it wasn't still snowing. It was just freezing cold. And they had a gingerbread coffee with basically like a gingerbread cookie person in it. And of course, I decapitated him immediately. I mean, who doesn't do that with like cookies that are like basically human shaped? You decapitate them immediately. Most people would eat the head. I ate the rest of the body because of the, well, it was more cookie. He's already dead because he's decapitated. I don't know why I think about it in that way. I did make photos of it because I don't know actually. The intention was probably to put it on Twitter or something, but I completely forgot. And I was just like, yeah, I think it's too late now. But it was a very nice coffee. And then waffles with, I don't know how you call them in English. It's like kind of a stewed pear. Like it's a sweet pear that you stewed in sugar and a little bit of red wine. So the pear is completely red, even though all of the alcohol is cooked out, of course. But it's just nice. And especially when it's like freezing, having like really warm stewed pears. I think that's how you would call them in Dutch. So here is your random Dutch word for today. We call them stoofperen, which I think means stewed pears in English. But yeah, you don't like cook or stew them until they completely disintegrate. You just stew them long enough that they become slightly soft. And it's amazing because I think there's also like cinnamon and not star anise, but like some other spices that you put in the pan when you stew them. It's just a very nice dessert. And then there was also ice cream and whipped cream with it. So yeah, it was amazing. Anyways, let's talk about the actual build again, because yeah, I should probably. Also, I just want to mention this just because I want to show how much of a dumbass I am. But I actually recorded this voiceover twice. You are getting the more focused one so far as I know now. Because the first one, I started talking about the price of medical bills in the US, and then I started talking about alcohol and drugs. Don't do drugs or alcohol, and if you do it safely. Don't do anything that harms your health. Don't do anything that, harms your health or others. Be safe. And this is the Christmas video, basically. So you can already see why I cut out the first voiceover, because yeah, I'm probably not going to release another video specifically for Christmas. Maybe I will. We will see. Maybe I'm just going to do like a sort of short cinematic video for Christmas. But because I will probably not be talking in that one, for anyone watching right now, Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays to anyone, because yeah, there's not going to be a special Christmas video, or if there is, I'm not going to be talking. So this is the one way that I can say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays to you guys in a video, because yeah, that's the entire reason. So yeah, Happy Holidays or Merry Christmas to you guys. And also, if I'm a dumbass and forget to upload next week, also Happy New Year's, because my brain still can't get around that it's December. Like, because of my internship, and yes, here Poison goes again talking about his internship, because he will keep doing that until the end of January, because damn it, I love it. But because of the internship and because of basically how busy I've been, it really just feels like the end of September for me. Like, no, we're not going into the new year. We are going into August. September is before August, right? Or else we're going into October. It's not December. Stop saying it is. It's October. Or September. Or whatever month is in between, because I have lost my knowledge of time and space and months. Yes. Let's now try and get a focused voiceover out. So yeah, when it came to the warehouse, the sort of angled pointy roof things that I built on top of the warehouse were just basically just a mind fart. I was just thinking like, I need something that kind of puts it in the too much place, or a little bit like, a little bit extra spice. Because I know, again, it's just a warehouse, it's a backstage area, it's not supposed to be fancy. But I want to make it fancy because I can also just see like the leadership of Naturalis being just like, you make your backstage area actually look like backstage area? We here at Naturalis actually have money that we can put in a backstage area. We can make it look fancy, unlike you pieces of shit. For some reason, I'm also imagining that in a French accent. But I will not do a French accent because it will sound horrendous. Because the last time I spoke French, it was when I was 14, 13. Like, I'm not going to try and speak French or do a French accent, because I will basically insult the entirety of France. And I don't want to do that because I love their food. Especially all of the pastries and such. I know I can insult France. I mean, the English, English, French. It's just, I love reading about history and all of the times just that England and France were just going at it. I love that little rivalry. maybe it's not anymore today. Any Frenchman watching this, can you say if you still hate the English? Because I would love it if it's still there, that you like still think that the English are shit, and vice versa, that English people or British people think that the French are shit. Because your guys' history, why the fuck do you guys hate each other so much? Because it's like, oh yeah, French is getting invaded by the English, and the English almost completely took over France. And then it's just like, yeah, now it's the other way around. Well, the French, I think, never invaded England. But then who would want to invade a place where it always rains or is grey or basically shits? I mean, I'm saying that about England. The Netherlands is just the same. It always rains, it's always shits, it's always grey. We are like brothers in arms when it comes to how shit our weather is. Although the Netherlands sometimes has nice weather. But hey, at least the English don't have to worry about being flooded if their dikes break through. Well, maybe with like global warming they will start to have to think about that. Maybe. I don't know. Anyways, let's start talking about the build again, because let's make it a New Year's resolution that I stop thinking that my voiceovers are anywhere near focused. Let me just stop thinking that. Let me just stop trying that. But yeah, sometimes I still want to talk about the actual build, because when it came to the cooler section of the building, basically the area where anything that needs to be refrigerated or frozen or anything like that needs to go, I for the longest time had no idea what to do with the roof here. Because I knew like, oh yeah, the walls and such, that's just going to be a rectangle. But I want to do something with the roof. And of course, there needs to be a massive cooling system on top of the roof, because it is like the cooler section of the warehouse. So in the end, I just decided, yeah, let's extend it a little bit, give it like a sort of plastic metallic rim, and that's it. Because again, it's a backstage area. So yes, the main warehouse is fancy with the special roof and such. And the other buildings are kind of just there. Although I did give it a green roof, because that's basically the hype with all of the buildings lately. Like, you want to have a green roof basically everywhere, because all kinds of different reasons. But yeah, to just go back on the cooler side and like the air goes that, or air conditioning that's on top of the cooler section. It's also on the main warehouse, because of course everything needs to be kept at like a certain temperature and maybe like a certain moisture level, just to make sure that nothing spoils prematurely. But I have no idea how that works. So like when it comes to air conditioning and heating and such, I tried my best, but I'm sure that if anyone comes in with actual knowledge about heating and cooling, they will look at what I've done with like the pipes on or attached to the roof and the air conditioning tubes and such, or, well, not tubes, but you know what I mean. They will think, what the hell was this dumbass thinking? And I can answer that. All this dumbass was thinking is, this looks pretty, and this might work. I don't know. That's my entire thought process when it came to like the cool air pipes and the air conditioning tubes. But yeah, that's basically the entire thing. So I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and if I'm a dumbass that forgets to upload next week, Happy New Year. And also, again, I'm going to put links to Shift C and PS Vision Gaming for their interior stuff down below in the description. Give those guys some love, and I will see you the next time. Now let's see some end results.